She was our world champs representative last year. So definitely the ones to watch here on this field are Duncan, Heidi C, and Zoe Buckman
gets a
in
page
11.
of her own. How good's that?
Well, she deserves a page of her own with the way she ran at the World Champs, but she's been injured. She's had a bad injury that she's coming back from. So she ran the Victorian state titles last week just to get some race practice, she said, and she felt pretty good. So this is going to be a step up for her in terms of where she's been for the last month. But, you know, she's so talented, she'll be fine. But for me, the one to watch with the way that she's been racing on this circuit is Jenny Blundell. She won the Hunted Track Classic over 1500, and in Adelaide she stepped down to the 800, and she was the first Australian across the line in that as well. And she's PB'd in both events. So I think obviously Melissa Duncan on paper is the one who's in form now, ready to run fast. But watch Jenny Blundell, because if this pace stays on us in the third lap, I think she'll be on to smash her PB. And Zoe Buckman, you can never write class off. And obviously with Heidi, I spoke to her during the week. She's come back over from America where she lives, and her husband's going to be racing later in the 5K. So she's looking to see where she's at early in the season. And she's an interesting story, Heidi. She obviously lives in America with her husband, but as a 15 or 16-year-old, she was so fast over those middle distances. And like so many girls, she struggled through those next years. And she didn't run faster till she was 23. And she had about half a dozen stress fractures in that time. And she's still stuck in there. I love stories like that. It's like a Louise Wellings, you know. They breed them tough, some of those middle distance girls. And Heidi's as tough as they come.
They sure do. 1500, almost twice as tough as an 800. I mean, almost twice as long as an 800. Sorry, Tamsin. Twice as long. I'm sure a few of these girls are out to run PBs, out to qualify. And then Zoe Buckman just announced over the loudspeaker at the track, just really excited to run.
Yeah.
Chatting to her earlier, and she doesn't have super expectations on this race. But yeah, really excited to be out there again. Warmed up last week, so hopefully she can tag along with Melissa Duncan if she's going to set the pace, as she often does, for the first few laps and hold on for the last 300.
It's going to be a tough race because as it's listed, there's no pace. So what you're going to need to have happen is one of these girls sacrifice themselves early to keep that pace honest. If none of them are, what will happen is it'll be very congested, and they'll have to be careful that they stay on their feet, which is, you can tell that that's what's going to happen now because it's so bunched up. You know that the pace isn't on. You know, you've got girls in there that are great front runners. Bridie Delaney's another one who's quite tough, and she's willing to take the pace quite a lot. But clearly the girls, because it's early in the season, they're just playing cat and mouse with each other a little bit just to see who's willing to make that sacrifice of themselves and make the pace fast. But obviously no one's willing to yet.
All right, and while we watch the 1500, let's go down to Mossy and Robbo with our winner.
Yeah. After you, Mossy.
No, after you. No, we're down here trackside with the winner of the men's 100 metres, Aaron Stubbs, in a time of 10:34. But Aaron, a case of double line syndrome over there. Heard Alex Hartman talk about it. Pulled up a bit short. Yeah, I got a bit confused there. Stopped 10 metres out and lunged. So that'll be quite funny to look up back on the tape. But, you know, I think it probably cost me close to a personal best, but it wasn't going to be the qualifier today anyway. So no great loss. Just a lesson learned, I think.
Mate, and that's right. You're clearly running still with that great form, and I'm sure those times are going to keep coming down for you. What's the next few runs for you in the lead up to Nationals?
Brisbane Track Classic in 2 weeks' time. Run the 100 and the 200 there. And then Nationals is 2 weeks after that, where I'll run the 100, and unfortunately I'll have to run the 200 as well, because that's going to have heat in its final.
Well, mate, all the very best, and we can't wait to cheer you on for the rest of the summer. All the way to Rio. Back up to you guys up top.
Thanks, guys. And we've got the results of the 100 on the screen now. It's Aaron Stubbs with 10:34, which would have been faster if he went to the second line. Miller 10:40, William Swain 10:50, Hartman 10:50, Ross 10:57, Teltel 10:67. Okay, back down to the 1500. Lyndon Halls.
Whilst Tanaka was leading for a while, she's dropped back into third now. Lyndon Hall's leading the way. Heidi C looks like she's in second.
Two American girls. Well, they're Australian, but they've spent some time in America.
Going well. And Zoe in third now. Looks like she's playing the part.
Might suit Zoe that the pace has been a bit slow, because in a 1500 you really need race practice before you start hitting those fast times. So the fact that it's been a little bit slower early may actually mean that, because she's so talented, she's still in the race and she'll be able to use some of her kick down that she's got, because she, as we saw when she was in the World Champs final and in her lead-in races, she does have a good kick down.
Yep. And with 600 to go, they've gone through in 2:41. So that'll mean a lot more to the 1500 runners at home than it does to me. It sounds pretty quick though.
Well, they're really bunched up, so it's going to be quite rough. It's going to come down to a fast sprint, and everybody's still in this race in this bunch. So Bridie looks like she's got a good, because it's rough, like I said, Zoe Buckman's just clipped Heidi C, and she nearly went onto the inside railing, but she's held her feet.
And Mel Duncan also sitting in 5th at the moment. It's a little boxed in. She's going to have to find a way out if she wants to make a break for it.
Very different from Lissy Duncan's usual approach. She's usually the one in that third lap that does push the pace, but as you can see, because it was slow, she's stuck on that inside railing, so she's going to need to find an opening very soon and get out.
So it's C, Hall, Zoe just being overtaken there.
Heidi C with her upright running stance. She's obviously in the clearest run, but you'd be looking for somebody like Jenny Blundell with her 800 speed of late to come through on a pace like this.
Bridie's still there too. She's moving into 3rd as we speak with 150 to go. Heidi C looking really good up front.
Blundell coming wide here, and she's, like I said, she's a tough runner, she's gutsy, and she's run down a few of the girls of late in the races that she's been running, and she looks like she's applying the same tactic here on Heidi.
It looks like she is with 30 to go. Can Jenny Blundell get there? She's challenging on the outside, and she gets there. Big win, big upset. Heidi C in 2nd. And hard to tell who got in 3rd there. That was on for the win.
I remember Sebastian Coe, the Lord Coe, saying on one of his commentary teams that he used to find heats of Olympic races of middle distance really tough, and that race was like a heat of a major championships. As soon as you make it slower, it brings everyone in the field in, and you're not quite sure who's going to have the best kick. Jenny Blundell has not put a foot wrong. She was a great junior, and this season she has come out and she has just PB'd after PB, and tonight she didn't get her PB, but it was a great race. So let's go down, and it's going to be tough. She's going to give you her comments straight after the race with Mossy and Robbo.
Yeah, it's always a fantastic time to interview someone when they've just finished. But Jenny Blundell, scalp after scalp after scalp. You did it at the Hunter. You continued your form, and you've done it here at Melbourne. What's been going on?
I don't know. And I've just been like keeping it simple at training and always just concentrating on the basics, which is your sprint finish, and it's working.
Now, you broke into sub 4:10 territory up there at the Hunter. Wasn't as quick a run tonight, 4:16, but tell you what, you had some fancied runners, as Mossy said, in there, many that have run under that 4:10 before. But what are the possibilities for you now? You know, you're getting some consistent runs under your belt, getting those wins in these meets. So how much further can you go, do you think?
Well, I mean, my focus is nationals at the moment. If a PB comes before then that's great. But I've just got the nationals, which will be like that race, so it's a good practice.
I reckon you're definitely in the minds of a lot of the women's 1500 metre competitors around the country at the moment, and all the very best with your training. We can't wait to see how you get on at nationals. 8th last year. I think you might do a few more places better this year. That's Jenny Blundell taking the win out in the women's 1500 metres. Back